大家好，我姓龚，叫龚理查。Hello everyone, I'm Richard Gong of Back to the podcast version. So this time, I don't think you could understand the meaning of the title, and that reads, that reads, 汉族的城市有两个汉字，别民族的城市有多个汉字。Which is, and the meaning of the title is, the cities of Han people have two Chinese characters, and four and and the cities of foreign people have many Chinese characters, which is the meaning of the title of this episode. And you know, the the conclusion is, as the title says, in 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 most cases, Chinese cities have the in most cases the names of Chinese cities have two Chinese characters when they are expressed or when they are written in Chinese characters. And in the case of the cities which are originated in foreign people different from Chinese Han people, you know, in which case, so those cities have, for example, four Chinese characters, and there are some cities having two Chinese characters, having the origin of foreign people different from Han people. So in which but in which case, such two Chinese characters are assigned to the name of city which has the original name different from Chinese one. So maybe most of you do not understand the meaning of Chinese cities have two Chinese characters, and different people have for example four Chinese characters. So the meaning is that the majority the majority people of China is Han people, and in the case of the cities of Han people, I said Chinese cities, but China has a lot of people, or a lot of races, and the majority is Han people, and the rest Han people comprises from 90% to 95% of the whole population. And there are what is called, for example, Uyghur people is one of the Uyghur people is one of the peoples living in mainland China. Uyghur people are famous now because they are abused, or they are persecuted by Chinese government, which is why Uyghur people could become famous. And anyway, I don't have to tell you things about that. So but maybe if you see Chinese map using Chinese characters, maybe you're going to see many you see many cities having Chinese characters as their names. So maybe so what is what you think, because there's no there's no significance in your life, but as I before or days before or months before, I created an episode explaining that you should learn foreign languages, and by learning foreign language you can understand the relationships between the foreign language you study, and the other cultures surrounding or having some relationships with the culture of the foreign language you study. And I used an example of Nimitz, which means Nimitz means Germany. Nimitz means German people. Nimitz means German people, and Niemiecki is German language. And I used this language, that example, and as I as I explained in the episode I I recorded before, Nimitz is originated in the meaning of barbarous. Nimitz has barbar. Nimitz has the meaning of barbarous in originally, and that is the same case to Chinese Chinese culture. For example, there's a city named Ulu. There's a city whose name is Urumqi, Urumqi, which is a large city in the region of Uyghur people. So Uyghur people are really famous, and maybe Urumqi is one of the largest cities in the region of those abused people, or those persecuted people. So another example is Harbin. Harbin in Western manner, in Western naming manner. So Harbin is located in China, but that has the origin different from Han people, which is why which I think is why that the name of the city has three Chinese characters, and if you can understand the meaning of kanjis, you can understand that Harbin, the Chinese characters, used in the name has no meaning, or it's those Chinese characters are assigned to the name of the city because those Chinese characters have the similar sounds to the original name of Harbin. Let me investigate the name of the city. Harbin is the correct pronunciation. I'm sorry, Japanese language doesn't distinguish L and R, which is why I was confused. Sometimes I'm confused. So anyway, going back to the original story of this episode. I'm sorry, I'm recording this episode. I'm recording this episode while I'm preparing my coffee, because I often drink coffee, so I drink cups of coffee, and I'm preparing now. And sorry for occasional interview. I'm sorry for occasional stopping. And anyway, so if you understand Chinese language or Chinese character, you can understand that most cities have two Chinese characters, and this city has three Chinese characters. And investigating, the origin of the name of Harbin came from Mongolian language, or this is the name is originated in the people different from Han people, or the majority people. So what I'd like you to know in this time is that by taking a look at in another aspect different from alphabet, you can understand that which city is the cities of main people or majority people, and which city is not the culture of main people, which means by looking at maybe I know that most listeners live in the United States of America and European countries, and most people live in West European countries, which are more advanced than East European countries. But some people, and so which is why I thought that if you see China, the map of China, or if you see the map of mainland China, what you see is a set of the names of Chinese cities, and the names are written in alphabet, But if you change the way or households names are written from alphabet to Chinese characters, and you can understand that most cities have two Chinese characters, and some cities have three or four Chinese characters, by which and there, of course, not only the name of the cities, but also maybe you can see some cities, some no, but also you can witness or you can see the names of regions, like for example, and of course you can understand the name. You may see the names of the rivers. For example, if you if you can see the names of if you can see the names of the region, like you know Hua Huabei or Huazhong or Huanan, they are they are the regions of having the origin of Han people or the majority people in mainland China, and each of which means so northern China and middle China and southern China, like which Chinese names having Chinese origin have two Chinese characters, and in another case, so in the case of Urumqi and no, not Urumqi, Uyghur. In the case of Uyghur people, that has, Uyghur, the region of Uyghur people are called Xinjiang. Xinjiang is, and correct manner of the name of the region is Xinjiang, where you are, Zhejiazhou. I'm sorry. My Chinese is not. My Chinese may not be correct. Anyway, the region of Uyghur has longer name, having many Chinese characters, like which what I'd like to tell you is that the regions of foreign people different from the mainstream or majority Chinese people have different manners of naming, like which if you take a look at for example China through Chinese character, through the filter of Chinese character, or through the aspect of Chinese character, you can understand which is the culture of mainland and which is the culture of different people. And like which I used an example of geographic stuff, or the names of the cities and the names of the regions, but you can apply this manner to other things, like the names of the things, and if you see the names of the things, and if you can apply this manner to the original names of the people, or each individual. You can maybe if you ask what's your name in some Chinese people, maybe what you hear is a name having three Chinese characters, and if you ask some foreign people different from the majority Chinese people, if that foreigner in China may tell you their own original name, and the original name have, okay, in some cases their original names have many Chinese characters, but by taking a like which by taking a look at things in different aspect, or in a different cultural aspect, you can understand which is the mainstream for that mainstream culture, and which is different from the mainstream culture, or the culture of majority people, which is what I'd like you to know. That's it. Thank you very much for your listening. And at last, this is the same. This is the same case to Russian culture, which means if you have studied Russian language, you can understand that. And if you have not studied Russian language, but you may know that so Saint Petersburg, Saint Petersburg is read, Sankt Petersburg, and Burg is from German language, which is different from Russian language, and Saint Petersburg is called Petrograd, which is the name of the same city in when and the name Petrograd was used. The Petrograd was used. The name Petrograd was used during the era of Soviet Union. So, and after which, after the era of Soviet Union, Petrograd was Petrograd changed to be Saint Petersburg, and Bug means town or city in German language, and some German cities have blah 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 bug or stuff like that. Some German cities have bug in the in the last part of their names, and in the case of Russian language, original the names having Russian origin has grad means city or town in Russian language, and for example, Kaliningrad is Russia. Kaliningrad is Russia, and what else is? And anyway, so I can't come up with some examples, but grad means city or town, and I don't know whether that's a coincidence or not. Gorod means town and city in Russian language. So those two was quite similar each other in terms of pronunciation. Like which by using maybe in the case of Russian language you can understand. You don't have to take a look at Russian map through Russian language, because you can understand by taking a look at the the names of the Russian cities. You can understand which one has the origin of Russian culture, and which has some cultures different from Russian ones. So you don't have to take a look at the names of Russian cities in, for example, Slovenic letters, or Russian letters, or Cyrillic letters. But in the case of the example of Chinese cities, it's good to take a look at Chinese maps, and especially take a look at the Chinese map in the cities in Chinese language, and you can understand what I'm saying. I haven't drunk the coffee I have just created. So after ending this episode, I'm going to drink the coffee. So thank you very much for listening. See you.